What's up? Earl Skakel is in the house. Friday night style. We'll do a quickie. Just trying to get the rhythm. No, I'm not frozen. Algorithm clearly with 0 people watching. It might not be the best time to go on, but I'm a soldier. I'm a comedy soldier. And it's the monetized version of Earl Skakel in the house. Charlie, it is a very nice jacket. Thank you. Hello, John Barbados. Check it out. It's very warm. And no, Adidas does not sponsor me. I'm about to work out, actually. I have a elliptical right there. But it's so cold in Los Angeles. You know it's cold when you are working out to stay warm. But I would have worked out anyway. So I thought I'd do a quick stream and, just see who's, people staying on a Friday night. I'm okay. I'm just here with Lois. I walked her just now and it was so cold out. She just shot me a look of, hey, man, let's go back inside. She sleeps in an anxiety bed. So um, my building, my neighborhood is very um, very loud. So she likes her anxiety bed. I mean, I thought the Chad and Melton on MLC was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. To see 2 grown men arguing like 2 kids in the sandbox that dropped their sucker. But I'm also a 55-year-old man who wears leather pants and oils up his body on television. So who am I to get involved in their world? I mean, that's why I don't really um, that's why I don't really get involved in that world. Although I think it's really funny. Yeah, I mean, I might try and stream while I'm on the elliptical, but I got to be honest with you. Uh, and I'm not trying to get people to give me money. My vision is so bad when I'm exercising that people would have to super chat me if they wanted me to read it. And it's really noisy. I mean, the machine it's a spirit elliptical machine. Um, so I mean, I might try it. I'll try it for a few minutes when I'm over there, and if it's not too loud, maybe I'll just maybe that's the fucking gimmick. A stream while I'm working out. But I get out of breath though, to be honest with you. I mean, I just put it on the highest level, 20. Highest level meaning the resistance. And when it's so cold out, I think it's like 38 degrees in Los Angeles right now, that um, my ACL, my torn ACL leg, um, acts up when it's this cold. Kip Smith, I don't know what '07 means. That must be Dabbleverse talk. But I appreciate you watching. I mean, Shannon Sharp's new podcast or thing on YouTube had 40,000 people in chat. I've got 6. So, can you imagine what Shannon Sharp's super chats are like? He's back in business. '07 is a salute. Oh, okay. Thank you, Kip, for saying that, and thank you, Colt, for telling me. ROTC. Oh, 0700. 0700 hours? Uh, I wasn't in the military. I was in the KISS Army. Actually, I'm lying. I was in the KISS National Guard. Hello. Ben Bones Jones. Hello. Just doing a quick stream before I work out. And I might stream again while I'm on the machine. Uh, I've never streamed from my iPad, so I think I might have to download Chrome on my iPad, but we'll see. I mean, I'm open to. No, I have a Spirit elliptical. During the pandemic, uh, me and Chandler, we wanted to work out still, but all the gyms were closed. So I bought an elliptical because Peloton, there was like a 5-month waiting list. Now they can't give those things away. But I've had to replace some of the parts on it, but it's still going strong. I mean, what was when the COVID started? Like late 2019, early 2020. So it's 4 years. And I've used it not every day, but I would say at least 4 out of the 7 days a week. So, you know, it like tonight, it's too cold to walk to the gym. Well, I remember, I think I went to a Kiss concert in early March 2020, and Paul Stanley was making jokes about COVID. And I think it was right around when Kobe died because he had a Kobe jersey on. So, how time I can't believe I didn't get COVID at that concert. I mean, at that Kiss concert, there had out of the 18,000 people who were there, I'll guess 1,000 people had COVID, and I survived. So, I think I'm just very, very healthy. Uh, so no, Paul Stanley didn't have COVID. Um, I'm just saying I went to a Kiss concert. I think it might have been the first week of COVID, maybe days into it. I mean, they just kind of started shutting down things, but concerts were still available, I guess. That is a John Varvatos. It's a casual. It's very cold out in LA, so it keeps me warm. It's like that fake fur lining. Um, so I take it with me when I walk Lois. Uh, yes, I mean, I got it on sale, of course. I work the deals. It's, I'm underselling it how comfortable this jacket is. Uh, well, I mean, Howard Stern probably isn't very healthy, I would guess. So I don't think uh, COVID is going. Well, he must be hard to fit. I mean, he definitely gets custom Barbados, I would assume. Vanessa, whatever. I'm assuming you are a new listener. I don't recall your name in the chat before, but welcome aboard. Oh, see, I haven't listened to Stern basically since what was it? Jackie left, and I don't even know when that was. So, but he is. I mean, I'm 55. He's got to be 10 years older than me, or at least in his early 60s. So, the older you get, I mean, you do probably stand the chance of being more affected by it. Um, oh wow, 70 years old. He looks really good for 70. Uh, I mean, I just, the prime for Stern for me, to be honest with you, was, when his TV show was on Saturday nights, WOR. Um, but that's like prime. That's when they first started making money, I think. Have you and Danish talked about doing a wrestling podcast? That would be great. We have not. It would be great, but I kind of like working alone right now. My last 10 years, I've been doing other people's podcasts and going on other people's streams. And, I'm really enthusiastic about the stream. And now that it's monetized, I can make a few dollars doing this. It's not going to make me rich or anything, but, you know, I've already made, I think, just in 1 week, a few $100. It's not going to buy me a car, but, um, you know, it's good side income, to have. I mean, in comedy in 2024, you got to diversify and, you got to be social media. I mean, the comedy is the easiest part for me. This is an easy part for me talking to you guys because everyone's pretty cool and, we don't really delve into the Dabbleverse all that much. Um, it's just not interesting to me. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Howard has access to, um, the best medicine and gyms and healthcare in the world. I don't really know Joey C that well. I think I did one show with him. Was it Dr. Mir? No, Dr. Chow and Little Mir. Uh, Seemed like a nice guy, but that's another reason. I don't really get into the Dabbleverse stuff because now you've got fans coming in and trying to like compete with all the comics who are in the Dabbleverse, and whether you like the Dabbleverse or not, uh, you're a smart man, random guy. Keep it that way. Uh, yes, on maybe about 3 months ago, and Joey C popped on, and he was nice to me, but when he gets in there and like whether you like the Dabbleverse or not, it's a lot of experienced stand-up comics in there. Melton's been doing comedy for 20 plus years. Chad's been doing comedy 20 plus years. Shuli's been doing comedy 20 plus years. Kevin has been doing comedy probably 30 years, and Bob has been doing comedy probably longer than Kevin. Um, so well, he has no reason to turn on me, to be honest with you. Like, but I don't talk about him. I'm just not, you know, I'm not interested in that section of the internet. Nice guy though. I only talk poorly about people if they're not nice to me. So my one experience with him, he was nice. Yeah, Danhausen. I met him at the Ric Flair roast, and he is very funny. I don't know. Uh, how Bob started off. Um, and we had a very like business-like conversation on how he it was weird, like he was in full makeup and whatnot, and he was telling me and the Iron Sheik's manager how he handles his independent show bookings and what he will do on an independent show and what he won't do. Um, he's like, "Hey, I'm not breaking my collarbone for $500." So yeah, I mean, the Dabbleverse is fun. I don't think I'm going to be a guest on too many shows in it because then now the popular thing is stream sniping the shows and talking shit about the show, and then I get roped into it. So I'd rather have 11 people in my chat than 200 people all goofing on me. Fuck that, man. If you want to goof on me, say it to my face, and I'll say whatever I'm going to say to you, to your face. And like I said, not that so I can fight you or whatever. It's just, um, oh, I love Kevin. But he even told me, a couple months ago, or maybe even a year ago, he's like, "Dude, don't get too close to me. I'll turn on you at some point." So, well, it's not worth it for me because that's not the angle I'm taking. Um, you know, in this, I like talking wrestling, hockey, comedy, um, and it's, I would say, I know is it tempting to, I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but if I got into the Dabbleverse, I'd be the best roaster. There's no one in that world who could touch me roasting. So I'm sure my chat rooms would, skyrocket. 100, 200 people. Hey, here's $10, roast this person. But I don't, you know, it's not a big deal to me. What's your favorite piece of Kiss merch? Probably this doll that Russell Peters got me. It's a Gene Simmons figurine that Gene Simmons uh, gave Russell. So, um, you know, but that's probably it. I mean, I've got a lot of Kiss T-shirts and stuff. Um, uh, well, I mean, I try and be nice. I mean, all I ask is that people be nice to me, and if they aren't, I mean, I have to respect you to, um, roast you. So I'm not going to respect, these people, and it's no balls at all to do this shit on the internet. Like I could sit here right now or say it right now. This person's a pussy. They're fat. They're this. That takes no balls at all. And that's one of the things I like about roast battles. You want to call someone fat or a whore or pig or whatever you want to call them, they're going to be right next to you, and they're going to call you something too. Um, I mean, do I get along with Barry Ribs? Yeah, I got no problem with him. I mean, I don't really know him, to be honest with you. The only interaction I've ever had with him was when I judged his roast with Pat Dixon. Um, yeah, I mean, my thank you, Brittany. I agree with you. Um, I mean, but I understand. That's why a show like Roast Battle is popular. It's like why Kevin and Shuley and Carl make the money they do because people want to hear shit talking. Um, that's why Roast Battle and Kill Tony are popular. You like the train wrecks and like the other night on or the other day on MLC, it was a train wreck. I mean, I've listened to it 4 times and it's still funny to me. And just Kevin being the straight man, not saying a word, letting both Patrick and Chad kind of flame out, if you will. It was hilarious. But I don't know. It's just not for me. I'd rather do that shit in person. So, um, you know, we all have our own lane. I mean, this stream is really, yes, this is live, Mickey. Um, this stream is really the stream that's about everything and nothing at the same time. Um, like I'll probably do one when the Steeler game is on. That'd be fun to do a stream and get some hours. I mean, I'm almost at 4,000 hours now, and that's when you can put money on your ads and shorts, and it's just another way to make a few bucks in the till. Um, so, uh, and these streams help. That 2.5 hour stream I did the other night, I think my first monetized stream. Um, uh, it's weird. I mean, it was only a 2.5 hour stream, but it was like, um, I get like 150 watch hours out of it. I don't know how that adds up, but if an actual battle royal fight happened between 20 comedians, would you make the top 5? Who else? I mean, in terms of like an actual fight, I mean, I believe I would make the top 5. I would assume like Rogan, obviously. Ryan O'Neal, is very good in Muay Thai. He's a dark horse. Um, no, I definitely was not one of Joe Coy's Golden Globe writers. Um, who else? I mean, I guess if you qualify Brendan Schaub as a comic, he'd get in there. Um, I mean, Bruce, who the fuck could move him? I mean, yeah, I mean, Amiko's a big boy, I mean, it's not, I mean, trying to think. Uh, that's a good question. Louis J. Gomez, absolutely. He's obviously a legit tough dude. Trying to think what other comics I know that work out. It's not many. I mean, Ari Shaffir strikes me as the type that in a 20-person fight would do anything. Kicking the balls, he'd fucking so probably and I'm sure there's a few New York Aaron Berg for sure. He's strong as an ox. I don't know who Neil Hamburger is. I know the name, I just don't know him. Curtain Jerks, a podcast with Earl and other comics into wrestling. There, I even named it. I mean, yeah, I mean it's you know, I think I told someone yesterday, like, now that you're monetized, I don't think Cole Young could pin anyone. Um, I think like a good way to kind of enter into the monetized world of YouTube is wrestling, because people have strong opinions about it, and it's a very divisive um, subject. Like I was talking with my buddy last night, who actually is a wrestler. He's not known, and he's like, "What do you think about the Young Bucks being Sting's last opponent?" And I'm like, I don't really get it." And he was like all for it. I'm like, yeah, but there's really no history. And we went back and forth for like 15 minutes, and we weren't arguing, but it was just like, um, you know, it was. Oh wow, this was. If we talked about this on my YouTube um, chat, people could go back and forth. Yeah, I mean, wrestling. No one admits to watching it. The furthest geographic, probably Montreal, Canada. Yeah, the comics are big wrestling fans. Come on, yeah, I know he's from Philadelphia. No, he's from Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah, he did the Comedy Store podcast. Yeah, Aldo's a tough dude. See, I don't know Sam. I haven't seen the AI George Carlin special. I hear it's pretty bad. Kamala is the Ugandan giant. Thank you very much. But there's also probably a comic I'm not thinking of. Like Ryan O'Neal, you would not think, oh, he's gonna kick ass, but like he has legit MMA skills. Um, or jiu-jitsu skill, Muay Thai skills, whatever you want to call it. Don Barris is a fucking tank, man. He's a very um, a big dude. I'm trying to think. Uh I even think Jeff Ross was like a karate champion at 13. I'd love for us to be the final two. You'd see a death in the ring. And it wouldn't be me. Um, yeah, I love Dusty Rhodes. What up, Barry Watson? Um, so yeah, I mean that would be funny to do a legit. You'd have to make you'd have to make it a nice, prize to win it all, like yeah, Pat Dixon's a tough dude. I mean, he looks like he could take a punch and, like, get obviously, he can give one allegedly. I'm trying to think, Ray DeVito probably could, last a while. He looks like he'd be hard to hurt. Uh, I mean, that's come close to happening a few times. And then if you get the door guys, some of the door guys at the Comedy Store right now are pretty tough guys. Um, well, I don't think I'm big enough to play Lord Humongous. Yeah, Carrot Top. I mean, he's yeah, but you're saying in a fight, he's a pretty big dude and he's got a big jaw. I mean, it's easy to hit, but like he seems like the type of guy that would be hard to hurt. Um, and then I'm trying to think. I mean, Aaron Berg, like he's a tough dude. I wouldn't want to take a punch from him. I mean, but someone asked me, Earth Sucks asked me who would win a 20-person comic fight. You know, it'd be a free for all. I mean, Joe Piscopo back in the day. Yeah, but Bert's a big guy. Listen, a 20-person brawl. Who knows what's going to happen? And there's a couple. Oh, I don't think so, Barry. Look at him; he's a big guy. And he seems like sometimes he has that 50-yard stare where like the lights are on but nobody's home. Those are the guys who are toughest to hurt. A women's Royal Rumble. Oh yeah, Rogan would win. I mean, based on actual fighting skills. Uh, but like well, I don't know if Mario Bosco can fight, but like if it's done like wrestling, the me, Amico, and I don't know, Gary Goulman. But that's not the question, Barry. The question was who would win in a fight, a 20-person comic fight. I'd say, hey, let's get Rogan out of the ring. And how do you get out of the ring? If it's just, are you thrown over the top rope? I would say to me and Zach, let's throw Rogan out first, and then you and I'll beat the shit out of each other. And then you could have a smaller guy. I don't know who knows how to wrestle, or something. I got choked out by a cop who was maybe 5'6", 150, but he knew all. He had apparently he was like in the Mossad or something. So like, you know, yeah, Voss strikes me as the type who would do, yeah, 100% Kip Smith. I would say to, Berg, Zach, and maybe O'Neill, hey, let's take Rogan out now. We'll all get him. And oh, that's a pussy, 4 guys on one, but it's a battle royal, man. You got to, if and it would be awkward if the prize is you get to go on Rogan. Um, so that's an interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, Joe's a pretty tough dude. Like, you've seen some of those street fights where, it's a street brawl. There was that one brawl, I think it was outside of a liquor store where these 4 or 5 kids ganged up on this one, not scrawny dude, but he knew karate and he kicked all 4 of their asses inside in under a minute. LA Kings, I like purple and gold. It's purple and gold or sucks, not yellow. Come on now. Um, So, but a valid question. Kings have lost 7 in a row. Of course, I think 5 of them were in overtime, so they do get some points. But well, that's when I got into the Kings. Was when they wore purple and gold, and you had the Triple Crown line with who was it? Marcel Dion, Dave Taylor, and Charlie Simmer, and who was the goalie? Mario Lassard and. Larry Murphy before we traded him to the Capitals for Ken Houston, maybe the all-time worst trade in NHL history. Um, so let's see, that's what I want this stream to be. We're talking fights, we're talking wrestling, we're talking, a little bit of dabble world, dabbleverse. This is the Earlverse. Um, I mean, I don't think it really mattered, Doug, to be honest with you. I don't think Israel, that's like a fake ban. Like, they weren't going to make it to the Olympics anyway. So, you know, I mean, Rob Blake's done a good job. I mean, the Kings have a deep pipeline, and they do have hockey. I mean, there are even some South African nations have hockey. Um, yeah, Ben Jones, love you, buddy. Uh, Definitely the Oilers because the Oilers have beat them the last two playoff seasons. MMA or boxing. I like MMA, even though I grew up in '70s and early '80s heavyweight boxing. I mean, if you look at the now being 55, I'm going to throw some names out there at you guys. You're probably like, who are these guys? But you had a prime Ali, a prime Foreman, a prime Joe Frazier, and then the second tier of guys in any other era would have been champions. You had my favorite kind of unknown heavyweight, Ron Lyle, Ernie Shavers, you had Ken Norton, you had Jerry Quarry, and then they ushered in the '80s, Jimmy Young, Leon Spinks, and then obviously Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes' problem was, you know, he just didn't have anyone to fight. Pinklin Thomas and Bone Crusher Smith are not exactly names. John Tate. Ever been with a natural redhead? I don't know. Haha, what are these questions? Hey, I answer any question. Name a more famous person named Earl. Earl Monroe, the basketball player. It's getting late, I guess. Yes. I should. This is a way to get. Um, it's kind of a tricky way to get super chats going in here. Any Dabbleverse questions have to be super chats. Trust me, the Dabbleverse talk would dry up. Joe Frazier or Frazier Smith, who wins? Are they doing cocaine or boxing? Hello. Earl Anthony, the bowler. Yeah, there's Earl Monroe, there's Earl Anthony, there's that's about it. And me. Klitschko, Lennox Lewis. Yeah, I mean, how do those guys? Well, I mean, they're definitely bigger, but like if you I'm gonna tune you guys. Earl Campbell. Yeah, I forgot about him. Um yeah, I'm down. Let me know. Uh I mean, look up Ron Lyle versus George Foreman. It's the greatest 4.5 round heavyweight fight you'll ever see. You guys will all thank me tomorrow. Ron Lyle, George Foreman, Ken Norton on commentary. I don't know who Earl Hickey is. Uh, it's Goodbye to Earl, the Dixie Chicks song. Um, Kimbo Slice versus Bob Probert. Is it on ice? Is it cocaine? Or is it in the backyard? Lennox. I mean, that's tough. It's always tough when you do those best of era, you know, matchups. It's like Babe Ruth is. Most people consider him the greatest baseball player of all time. But do you think Babe Ruth could actually hit Dwight Gooden? What do you think Babe Ruth would do if J.R. Richard was throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball? He'd whiff on it faster than I would. So, I mean, the Klitschko's, I tell you what, they'd never been hit by anyone like Ron Lyle. I mean, Ron Lyle knocked down a prime George Foreman 3 times in 4 rounds. I mean, Lennox, Fury, Riddick Bowe, Razor Ruddock. I mean, all tough dudes. I mean, and great fights for Ron Lyle. But I don't know. I mean, Tex Cobb, like, I don't think anyone from your 2000s era could knock out Tex Cobb. I have not had a colonoscopy yet. Russell Peters is another interesting person in a 20 comic fight. Paul London's great. Very, very nice man. King of the Hill. I would make a great Hank Hill. And I was at the original um, King of the Hill table read when the Fox casting director was trying to fuck me. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you put Shohei Ohtani in the Babe Ruth era? Like, no offense to the pitchers back then, but you know, he'd have 100 home runs. How many hours of sleep do you get in a 24-hour period? I get about 8 hours. I nap in the daytime. Yeah, yeah. Don't You can always bother me. I don't recall you reaching out to me, to be honest with you. Yes, I have done voice work. I am currently the father on Tyler the Creator's cartoon, The Jellies. Um, where were you during the LA riots? I was at liquor stores trying to get the energy drinks on a good deal. No, I'm just kidding. I was in Century City on the 19th floor in the building where I do my Fay Ray joke. So I was in a pretty safe um, uh, position, if you will. Um, and then of course the George Floyd riots. I was in the thick of it because Rodney King riots. They did not come close to where I lived, but in the George Floyd protests, riots, whatever you want to call it, um, they got into my neighborhood. I mean, and I live literally across the street from the sheriff's, and it was still pretty scary. Do you know any Scientologists? Not that I know of. I don't. So, hit me up on Instagram. I don't think I ever got them. I mean, I'm pretty busy in the daytime doing voiceover stuff, but yes, the Bushman is gone. Boone Shakalaka is gone. I like Bruce Lee. I like Enter the Dragon and Game of Death. Of course, it's easy to follow me everywhere. Earl Skakel, literally everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. I do put up my longer form videos on Patreon in terms of stand up. And then, because people ask me all the time, hey, how can we support you? And, either Patreon or on here now that I'm monetized, thanks to Tracy, Maria, and the Quadfather was quite helpful. See, that's the good part of the Dabbleverse. He's like, hey, man, I know you're having trouble getting monetized. How can I help you? So, Disney's in Burbank. I love you too, or sucks. The creepiest celeb I've ever met, probably Jeff Ross and Jeremy Piven. It's an honest answer. I've never met the Hanson brothers. We're going for about 7 more minutes before I hit the elliptical, and who knows? I might. We'll give a pilot attempt at streaming while I'm working out, but I have a feeling it will be too noisy. Uh, when you're going to start an OnlyFans? Um, Probably never. I mean, I can barely get my Patreon going. Uh, so creatine, I did take creatine. They stopped making them, but they had these EAS, the vitamin company. I don't know if they're still around, but they had a great creatine gummy. But I don't think EAS is still in business. I mean, I would say, right now, probably the Music Hanson brothers are younger. Who's the tallest and who is the most muscular wrestler you've met? Let's say tallest. Oh, Big Bill. Big Bill is actually the tallest and most muscular. Good night, Earth sucks. Uh, this is crispy. Thank you, man. I try my best. Big Bill was actually in my Jeep. I took him to a comedy show, and he could barely fit in my Jeep. That's the crazy thing. And then after the comedy show, where he was very funny, we went to a 7-Eleven, and I think the guy thought we were gonna rob the place. 'Cause he walks in, he's 7 feet, 300 pounds and ripped, and I'm not, exactly small. Thank you, Jason, I appreciate that. 6'10", 276. Yeah, I mean, he's that sounds about right, man. I mean, if he was bigger, I wouldn't be like, "No way." I mean, he is a big, big, big man. Thank God he's nice. So, hey, if you can, hit those likes. Hit those likes. I understand in this economy, if you can't hit the super chats or super stickers, but apparently, the more likes I get, uh, the more I crack the algorithm. I don't know how this works. Thank you for whoever got me to lucky number 7. I mean, I did meet Brody Lee. He was very tall, very nice guy too. Um, he wasn't the most muscular, but Bray Wyatt, when I met him at the Comedy Store, like when we went to take the picture, and it's on my Instagram. Like I put my arm around him like this, and I like I could barely touch his shoulder. Great guy though. It's one of my proudest Comedy Store nights. I'm about 6'1", in between 6 feet and 6'1". You following what's going on with Elijah Allman? I don't know who that is, Clara. To be honest with you, um, so my bubble is stand up comedy and wrestling and working out. So I don't really uh, keep up with the current. I don't know who that is. Sheriff's son. Oh, I'm not, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean it's a great weekend for football. I think I'll do a live stream while the Steelers are playing. That could be fun. Be a 3-hour stream. We could chew up some hours, help get me to that 4,000 hours plateau, and then I'm on my own. After you hit 4,000 hours, you know, you hit 3,000 hours, you do the super chats and super stickers, and I think memberships. 4,000 hours, you can actually make money by ads in your videos. Um, so now I don't uh, have any videos that would make me millions of dollars, but I think you can make a couple bucks doing shorts. Like my one friend makes about $1,000 a month just on her income from shorts. uh, Commanders. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'm old school. I mean, I get why you can't call it the Redskins. Yeah, I mean, I have many, many Hollywood stories. Uh, I see Melton streams. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I don't know what Melton makes, but I'm sure it's he lives in a house. Uh, oh my God, Rock on America, $20. Thank you. I'll definitely do your interview now. I'm just kidding. Um, Rock on America, $20. Earl rocks. I do my best. Um, um, no, no, that is not my first super chat. I did a stream, I think last Sunday night. That was my first monetized chat, and I think I made a couple $100. It wasn't like a crazy amount of money. But I'm using whatever money I make in super chats or stickers or memberships, or when I get to the 4,000 hours to maybe buy a new iMac so the camera's a little better, or maybe no, no, I would have done your interview for free anyway. But thank you very much. Not necessary, um, and I don't panhandle online. if you can't afford to, William Zoom said it the best. He's like, Earl, it's not really a donation, but think of yourself as a bartender and people are tipping you if they like what you're serving. So, yeah, I mean, I think, listen, I'm realistic. I mean, I would like eventually, once I sell some more memorabilia upstairs, my game worn jersey, hockey jersey collection, to move this upstairs. And instead of having my kitchen be the background, it'll be like a wall with that behind me, that, and, maybe one more neon sign. Um, just a cooler presentation. And I know, they have like 4K cameras that, I could, have a little bit clearer of a signal. Unfortunately, I can't do much about my Wi-Fi. I'm in a dead spot in West Hollywood. Uh, BYB podcast. Cheers, bro. Glad you're monetized now. 4.99. Thank you very much, BYB. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you. It was a fucking pain in the ass, man. I mean, because I hit I've had double the amount of subscribers necessary, and I've had 3,000 hours, for probably 2 months ago, and they make it so um, complicated to link your YouTube account to AdSense. And my friend Tracy Carnazzo, who some of you may know in chat, very funny comic, opens up for Hannah Burner, headlines on her own as well. Um, she said, "Oh, I gave her like all my info, and she's like, oh, you have another AdSense account, and you have to close that one." And I'd never had another AdSense account ever, so it's just like it was very frustrating. And then even when I hit all the levels you have to, it was just like, uh, I mean, I've never had another AdSense account because I've never been monetized in any other platform. So they don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking into that. I'm gonna one of the sound guys at the Comedy Store is like an internet freak. He's like, "Let me come over." He did Tim Dillon's podcast setup. Not that this is a podcast, but it kind of is. Um, so yeah, I mean, who knows, Doug? I mean, Skakel Snacks, Big Earl bars, Load. I would call it maybe Load, just Load. Um, so. A protein bar with Diana Ball. I don't know how legal that is. But thank you very much, Rock on America and BYB, for your contributions. Um, and that's another thing I'm trying to separate myself from the dabble versus like, just this like online panhandling. Give me money or I'm not going to do anything. Give me money or I'm going to end the stream now. And I'll never do that. But, after someone who's done comedy, probably I would say literally the first 15 years, I did comedy for free. I probably paid more money doing comedy than I got. And then with Roast Battle, I obviously, I think I think I made about 20 grand. Now that's not what they paid me. That's what I won in a very unfair setup. But so it is nice to be on my own, and like doing these streams actually excites me. Like I feel enthusiastic, and it's not so I can make money off of people, but it's just nice to be paid for your work sometimes. Not that this is work. Kevin, no, but I did get monetized finally. uh this is crispy. How do I refine my stand-up comedy style? There is there's an artistry to what you do compared to some of the more standard comic. I mean, I just 25 years into stand up, I'm pretty polished. Um, so, I'm like a veteran quarterback, you're not going to throw a blitz at me I haven't seen 100 times over. I'm like the Charlie Batch of comics, like I can look out into a crowd and, I've got 1,000 tools to use to see what I can do to get the crowd on my side. Big Earl energy drinks. I mean, if I mean, I would. I mean, because I drink energy drinks. I know, uh, I know the product. Um, well, I do have a comedy shirt. Don't buy it. It's on Pro Wrestling Tees. It's the Inappropriate Earl podcast shirt, but they sell them for like $25, and I only get 7. So it's like, fuck that. I think I've sold like 5 in 7 years because I don't promote them at all. Because it's like, why would I? Now I understand they're making them, but like the 7 people that bought the Inappropriate Earl podcast shirts, uh, you know, they're buying them because of me. So I think it should be the opposite. You guys get $7 and I get 18. So, I mean, at some point when I'm a little more known, and that day may never come, to be honest with you, I might sell T-shirts, but I'd rather come. I'd rather have people come see me at the Comedy Store. Um, Love the fur collar jacket. Yes, it is a great jacket. It's not my. I mean, not that I have a bad. This is a 2-year-old iMac, so, but I know the technology is 100 times better now. But it's a very nice. It's lined, so it's very nice and cozy. Who was your favorite open micer during my first 7 years of comedy? That's a tough one. First 7 years. That's a tough one. Hmm. I mean, I literally thousands of names I mean, Angelo Bowers was great. He unfortunately passed away, I think 12 years ago, got hit by a drunk driver. He had that Mitch Hedberg style, like, um, like, wow, this guy's gonna be someone. And unfortunately, he wasn't given the opportunity. Yeah, I mean, Tebow. I never really did open mics with Tebow though. I met him kind of at the store when we were both about 10 years in. Maybe sell your own merch on your Patreon channel. I'm not going to say I'm lazy, Rock on America. I'd have to have someone do it for me. Like, I know nothing about that. And right now, to be honest with you, in terms of like a money making ventures, I really want to try and concentrate on the stream because I think if I do a good stream and that I see as a way to make it's a nice side income. I mean, my main income is my comedy store spots and my voiceover gigs. So super chat money or whatever you want to call it, YouTube monetization money is really just you know side income. Have you ever seen Paul White in person? I think I have. I think I met him somewhere. Gaylord Dingler, a legendary open micer. I mean, there's so many names that are popping into my head. I mean, Bushman. Uh, I mean, it's my buddy, the Great One. You guys wouldn't know who that is unless you're a real local yokel, LA. He was very funny, but he never really wanted to make it. He just did comedy for the hang. Um, yeah, I mean, so many. Now, I'm sure as soon as I end the stream, uh, someone will bring up a name from my past, and oh yeah, that guy or girl. There's a lot of funny girls. When I first started doing stand up, Christy Miller. who's now in New York doing comedy. Yeah, I mean, I have my the guy who does New Girl in chat. I hope you're a girl. Welcome. Um, my guy who does the podcast cover art, he would well, he's the guy. Just look at the go on Pro Wrestling Tees and look at the inappropriate Earl shirt. Don't buy it. And I really mean that. You know, it's a good design. He would be the guy I would use. But then I know Melton would probably be good. But I don't want to be that guy who's like a mid-level comic selling fucking merch. I'd rather people buy my comedy special when it comes out in a few months. You know, Deb Cox, yeah, many a night at open mics with Deb. Um, Fond memories of her and her husband Isaac. He was a very funny dude, Isaac Garone, like really funny guy. I mean, I started with so many people who could have made it, should have made it, and they just, you have a family, and I think Deb and Isaac got married, they had a kid, so it's just like, I mean, I'm still doing the hustle. This stream is doing the hustle. Um, you know, I mean, I wake up tomorrow, the first thing I think of is jokes. I got a spot tomorrow night at the Comedy Store, midnight. Closing out the main room, and you can't really do new jokes in the main room. You gotta hit them with the heavy artillery because people have paid $30, $40 a ticket, 2 drink minimum. They probably had dinner, somewhere else before the show, and then not that the dinner's on you, but it's a date night, so they spent, at least 100 to 2 to 3, $400. So, you can't really go up there and go, "Hey, this might be funny." 'Cause some guy who just spent 4 or $500 doesn't want it to maybe be funny. He wants it to be funny. So, we'll stream for about 10 more minutes, and then I'm gonna work out. I have not been to the Comedy Mothership, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't like a lot of the people there. I mean, I didn't like like them in Los Angeles, so I'm not gonna go to Austin to hang out with a bunch of comics I don't like. I love Rogan. He's always been nice to me. Of course, one of my best friends, Adam Egget, is the booker there. Um, and then Red Band, I'm tight with. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a nice shirt, but um, like I said, I mean, it's $20, $25 or something, and I only get seven. I really think it should be the reverse. Do you feel Joe Rogan ruined comedy with his friends? No, I mean, he probably helped it. Look at the comics he brought to you that you never probably would have heard of. Bert, Segura, Christina, Duncan, Ari. I mean, Shab's a miss, but what are you going to do? No one has 100% success rate. Um, so, uh, I mean, I don't think he's hurt comedy. I mean, listen, like he is supporting a lot of people in Austin. There's a lot of broke comics from LA who moved there and are making money because of Joe. And a lot of them are younger. So I have, well, it's not that yeah, you're probably right on that, Rock on America. Um, and I think I could have some cool logo, like a caricature of my face, maybe that, Earl and the rat font. Um, I like Eddie Bravo, but he's not a comic. I don't think he's funny. Like, and I realized that Eddie Bravo could kick my ass. But uh, he's not a comic. It'd be like if I started taking jujitsu, like all of a sudden. I'm a big guy, but I'd probably get my ass kicked. Since the Cat Williams stuff come out, I've seen so much stuff with the Rogan pushes unfunny people stuff. Well, I mean, listen, I can't tell you who's funny and who isn't. I'm sure people don't think I'm funny, uh, you know, and that's just, you know, Funny is subjective. I mean, I'm sure to someone out there, Brendan Schaub is funny. Um, and I got no beef with the guy. Every time I see him at the Comedy Store, he's nice to me. He's like, "Hey, Earl, what's up?" Handshake. That nothing more than that. But um, no, I'm not. He might be funny in conversation, but like he has no business on a comedy club stage. But I'm a comedy snob. I got to be honest with you. You get on the main stage at the Comedy Store. Like, I don't think he should be on there. It's like literally, can I ice skate? Yes. Should I play the LA Kings Sunday? No. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure Eddie Bravo's a great guy, but it would be like, if I asked Eddie Bravo, "Hey, can I be in a jujitsu tournament?" He'd probably look at me and go, "Fuck off." Um, I mean, listen, Rogan's funny. Like, you can't sell out arenas, theaters. He's at the point where it's an insult to do a comedy club. If you're not funny, you're not doing that. You might not like him as a comic, um, but like same thing with Matt Rife. When you're selling out theaters, you're funny. Um, I mean, no, I mean, I guess he's a comic. I mean, he gets spots. I mean, it is. I mean, see, I like to flip it. What if Joe Rogan encouraged me to do jujitsu? Ask Eddie Bravo about that. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's all good. Like, I'm not telling you to, it's just how I think. I mean, I don't get angry, but like, it always makes me like scratch my head. When people say this person's not funny, like people say that about Bird. It's like he just played the Honda Center where the Anaheim Ducks play. If you're not funny, you're not playing that arena. You're playing the arena, the gigs I play. To me, Rogan is not funny at all, but his interview shows are great. Yeah, I mean, like I can't tell you you're wrong. I mean, he's very commanding of the stage. Uh, well, I think a lot of the young comics are uh, people who have successful podcasts, and that's not stand up. It's a different humor. So, like, I've seen it a lot, including with a few people who've been recently passed at the store where they have a popular podcast. They get up on stage, and the audience wants to hear jokes. They don't want to hear a story you tell on a podcast where you can kind of fuck around and play with it and, expand it at your own leisure. You got 15 minutes. Now, tomorrow night, I'm going on last. So I've got, as long as I want. But, and, it's also, you see a lot of comics, uh, who are popular either on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. Maybe they have a popular stream. And you look at a lot of the shows in the Dabbleverse, they don't sell, and because, you guys are all at home right now, I'm assuming. You're in your underwear, you're in bed, AC/DC just woke up to take a piss, uh, and, "Oh, I'll just put on YouTube. Oh, Earl's on." Doesn't cost you any money. I mean, it would if you super chatted or super sticker. I don't even know what a super sticker is. Uh, but outside of that, it's free. And, so I think a lot of these people who are popular with TikTok videos are, trust me, ACDC, you would love this fucking jacket. It's so warm. I love it. But I think what a lot of comedy clubs are finding out when they book these people who have popular viral videos is, it's one thing to have people like yourselves in a home right now, bundled up, nice and warm, listening to me. But it's another thing to have people pay 20 bucks for parking, 2 drink minimum, whatever the tickets are, 20, 30, 40, $50. It's 100 bucks. So that's all good. But I mean, No, the Doug, that hockey jersey era is over. I'm selling all my game worn jerseys, and that will fund the greatest podcast streaming room in the world. Um, but I mean, that's what I'm talking about, new girl. Like, if you saw I was on stage, like, I don't know where you live, but say you live in Los Angeles and you saw, oh my God, Earl's playing at the Comedy Store. Now I'd get you a free ticket to go in, but you still got to pay for parking and your two drinks. And that, that's a couple, that's 30, 40, $50, even with a free ticket. So, that's why a lot of people who are popular online don't sell tickets. Okay, East Coast, that's cool. I don't know what a super sticker is. I saw someone bought one the other night. I didn't even know they bought it. Like, I think you only get a notice if you uh, a super chat because it pops up. Um, Toughest hockey player ever. Probably Joe Kosar. Now, when you say toughest hockey player, ACDC, to me, that's asking me, okay, Earl, you're in the NHL. You have a choice to fight one or the other. A Rock on America, out of control. $3. Thank you very much. You didn't even ask a question. Oh, that's a super sticker. Oh, thank you, extraneous. Uh, thank you. Um, so okay, I wasn't trying to act dumb, and I don't know what a super sticker is, and have you guys buy them. Yeah, and you got to tip the cocktail waitress. Probably got to tip the valet if you valet. I mean, but my point is that outside of Rock on America, who has spent $23 during this stream, and others, let me thank all the people who've donated. Let me go. I'm new at this, so I'm sorry. Rock on America, BYB Podcasts, Extraneous. Thank you for your funding, your fan funding. Um, but uh, it adds up. Like tomorrow night, like I just was telling New Girl in chat. That's a great name, by the way. Um, well, at some point, I will do a something special for the donors who. I don't like to say donors. I like to say tippers because donate is like you're passing the collection plate out, going, "Give me money, give me money." I'm not going to talk unless you give me money, give me money. I'm answering most of the free questions. But my vision is so bad. This is not a scam, but like when they're highlighted like a super chat, or now that I know what a super sticker looks like, it's easier to read for me. It's a great scam. But I think you can tell by these glasses. These ain't for show. Um, patrons of your tippers of my. You think of me as the valet parker. If I brought your car out in a fast time, here's $5 or whatever. I can't get LASIK, but I like my glasses. I really do. They're part of my I don't know, look, I guess, my stage presence. So but that's what were we talking about before the super stickers were coming in hard. Um do I click on them and give you a heart? No, don't remove. Put user in timeout. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'll read up on that. Um But, oh, well, we were just more or less saying how expensive it is to go out and see a comic. Um, uh, I love this jacket. People compliment me on it all the time. And you're not, when I get a nicer camera, you'll be able to see. I mean, it's like a tweed here, real soft, and then this is the selling point. The faux fur. Uh, it's cold out here. Thank you. I mean, I love my glasses. The jacket does go hard. I thought you were saying your vision couldn't be corrected even with. No, no. I mean, I can get LASIK surgery and my vision. I mean, I can see without glasses, but it's very like obviously because I've been wearing them, they're adjusting right now. If you asked me to read Rock on America's super sticker, a dollar amount, like I see three numbers, but I'd have to go like that. $3. Okay. But with these on, I could be back here and go, oh, it's $3. So, I mean, I've worn glasses, I think, since right out of high school. My vision wasn't that bad in grade school, uh, but somehow it got worse over the years. And it's tough for me to read. Like I just bought this book. I like self-help books, and it's taken me a while to read it because my eyes get strained. And I just finished this book, Fighter by my buddy NHL player Aaron Volpati, who check that out. You can get on You can get either book on Amazon. Um, so it takes me a while to read. It probably took me 2 months to read Aaron's book. It's a great book. He's an NHL player. He had a horrible burn accident. Was told he'd never skate, let alone play in the NHL. And it's basically, even though the book's called Fighter, you could call it persistence. Um, yeah, I mean, good vision is enjoy it extraneous. Like um, I do love audiobooks. I can't get to LA to see your comedy act. Hopefully, you will go to Vegas or Georgia sometime. There's a lot of comedy clubs in Vegas, but the Vegas comedy scene is kind of shitty, to be honest with you. Like, they pretty much book anybody. So, like, um, I tried to get into Wise Guys, and they kind of blew me off. And I was coming in off of a Pauly Shore recommendation. So it's like, okay, and then I said, well, maybe I'm not the most known comic. Let me look, see who's headlining. And they have like open micers doing full weekends. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I hear Brad Garrett's is really good to do, and he's a great guy. I met him on I'm Dying up here, but there you have to do the whole week. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't want to stay a whole week in Vegas. I'd blow my brains out. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. I'm trying to provide quality content for you guys, and I appreciate. Um, I have a small but mighty fan base, and the real goal doing these live streams isn't the money. To be honest with you, it's to build up my name, so you guys want to come see me do stand up wherever I'm at and wherever you're at. My mom is from Cartersville, Georgia. Of course, my parents died 2 months apart in 1998, but I've been to Atlanta. I went to an Atlanta Thrashers game. Um, I've been to a Falcons game. Of course, my parents, the last couple years of their lives, lived in South Beach, so I've been in the South a lot. Um, it's pretty cool. Oh, it's just I got to mail my friend a gift, and his address is on that. So I've never done shows in Atlanta. I know they have the Laughing Skull Comedy Festival, and I think they have an improv, or they have some club there. Uh, but I mean, I only do the road if it pays really well. And I'll tell this story again just because I do get the question a lot. Why don't you do the road more? Um, like obviously Kevin Shuley, those guys, they don't have to do the road anymore because of their streaming income. My streaming income is voiceovers. Um, so like a couple months ago, I got a gig, an offer to do 7 shows in Florida, and I think it was $5,000. That probably sounds like a lot of money to you guys, right? And it is a lot of money. Now, 1,000 of that was for the airfare. The other 4,000 is for the shows. So let me break this down for you guys. For those 16 of you listening to me on a Friday night, uh, to drive to LAX for me with LA traffic, and there's always LA traffic, half hour to 45 minutes. Now you have to get to LA. You have to get there 2 hours before your flight. So that's let's say 2.5 hours. Now it can take me as long as an hour to get to LAX, but we'll say half hour, 2.5 hours. So the plane ride to Florida is about 4.5 hours. Plane ride back is 5.5 hours because of the trade winds. So that's 10 hours on the plane, 2.5 hours at LAX and getting there. Now the airport in Florida is a smaller airport, so you have to get there an hour early. So you're talking before you even do the shows, you're working uh, 14 to 15 hours. Then you do the shows. Now, when I headline, I'll do about an hour and 15 minutes. So it's 7 shows. So, we're talking about 9 hours of performing. So, and you got to do morning radio, and that's an hour or two. So, you're easily at 24 hours of work for those $5,000. And it's really $4,000 because the other thousand is towards the air travel. So you're not really getting paid. Um, Now, right after I got that gig offer, I did a full season of a cartoon. I can't tell you what network or the name of it yet because it's not out. And it was 12 episodes. Now, cartoon episodes are like 11 minutes, unless it's on Netflix where it's a half hour. But this was on another streaming platform. $4,850. I did because it was a pilot season, which means most likely it's going to get picked up. If they're on the fence, they do one episode. That's the pilot, and they shop the pilot around, and then they do. This was a whole season. $4,850. I did those 12, 11-minute episodes. Now I'm not in every minute, in about 2.5 hours. Now I get paid whether the show airs or not. So that's why I don't do the road that much. 24 hours of work, traveling from one end of the country to the other, getting up at 6 in the morning to do morning radio and all this kind of grunt work, or sit in this very chair using this very mic 2.5 hours in my underwear with Lois at my feet. I'm very lucky to have a deep voice. Um, but let me get to your thoughts on Anthony Cumia. I mean, I'm not really down with the racist stuff, man. I mean, I get that that's part of his brand, but ooh, boy, some of those tweets. Someone just told me about his Twitter, so I go on his Twitter. It's like, my God, but he doesn't give a fuck. Like you talk about not giving a fuck. People think Ricky Gervais went hard on the Golden Globes that one year or the Oscars, whatever show he was hosting. Wow, Cumia doesn't give two fucks. Because he's made his money. Like you can't cancel him. You can't cancel someone who has a podcast. Uh, you know, so that's my thoughts on Anthony Cumia. But here's the hard part about having a deep voice is I'm not going up against that many people. Now you might think, well, that's great. Your chances are even better. No, they're worse because I go up against celebrities. Like I've said this before, so sorry if this is boring to you. Dylan McDermott, Billy Brown, who was the bad guy on Sons of Anarchy. I think the last two seasons. Rob Riggle, James Earl Jones. Now James Earl Jones isn't auditioning; he's offered the part. But I have to hope all these famous actors are busy, and then it comes down between me and like 4 or 5 other guys, like of my fame level, which is virtually no fame. Um, Starsky and Hutch. It's voiceover. Getting quality voiceover work is tougher than stand up. Think about that. I always thought Cumia was joking about the racism. I don't think he is. Kevin Michael Richardson was in the Jellies. I mean, I go up against him as well. It's funny, I had to talk to my voiceover agent because in a lot of the early episodes, Kevin Michael Richardson was credited as Barry Jelly, and it's like and it's not an ego thing, but, for future work, it is better if I'm shown as the lead along with Phil LaMarr. But yeah, Kevin Michael Richardson, you think people make money in super chats? That's like, Kevin Michael Richardson makes mid six figures. And it's easy work. I mean, the voiceover work. I mean, even in the Jelly season two, we did in less than a day because they were, like I said, 11-minute episodes. Adult Swim is one of the networks where it's 11. Now the finale of season three. We did 2 seasons on Adult Swim. Um, but the finale, I think, was a half hour, but the other episodes were 11 minutes. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you could bang out a season and literally under a day. Um, so, and a shout out to Lionel Boyce, a creator of um, co-creator of the Jellies. For I think he won an Emmy or a Golden Globe this week for his role in The Bear, where he plays the pastry chef. Do you read lines? You read lines without animation. Sometimes they'll give you scratch lines, which they will play the producer or whoever wrote the lines, like Carl Jones. He'll do a scratch line, um, and they'll play it. Like, this is how we want you to read it, and they'll play it, and then you'll try and mimic what you just heard. But usually, you're just reading the script. Uh, I wish I never knew the term super sticker. Oofa. Well, no, super sticker's good here. Soon everyone will want to see Earl Skagel. That voice, LOL, love it. I mean, hey, um, if I could get on a popular cartoon, I'm headlining anywhere I want. Um, Seems kind of simple to say it that way. Or, there's not really many famous people who do live streams. If I could get on a popular cart, like if the Jellies was still on, and the Jellies, we never got canceled. Um, we Tyler just didn't want to do it anymore. And then, Lionel got on the bear. So, just I don't want to say unfortunately, but and Tyler and Lionel are young. So they, I think they have ADD and they hop around. Like for me, it was like, oh man, let's keep going. But like say the Jellies, because I always thought the Jellies could have been like the Black South part, you know. But um, if the Jellies was like super popular and I did like a Friday night stream, like the super chats would be fucking bonkers. Um, so, once again, you're not going to be rich from streaming, but it's good income. Even Patreon. I mean, I only have like I think 13 paid Patreon people right now. And I get a couple $100 a month. It's like a new pair of Jordans or something, new pair of glasses. Rocky 3 or Rocky 4? Rocky 2. But if you put a gun to my head and said, "That's not the fucking question, Earl." I like Rocky 3 because in Rocky 4, Apollo dies. Um, Although I do like the song "Hearts on Fire." I would play it, but I don't want to get canceled. We'll go 7 more minutes. We'll do an hour and a half, and then I got to get to working out because it is 12:49 on a Friday night. And if I wait much longer, I'll just walk Lois for 5 minutes and go to sleep. I have to force myself to work out. Now, I might live stream while I'm working out, but I have a feeling that's not going to play. I think I have to download Chrome for my iPad. So that might take a while given my Wi-Fi situation. So you got 6 more minutes. If you want to ask me any more questions, concerns, thoughts about the football games this weekend, the Netflix is a joke comedy festival. I joined John Reed Fitness to lift weights again. I think I have some shorts. If you go on my YouTube, um, There's a couple videos of me working out I took just for fun. Um, oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. I might do that. I'll try it, but if it's too much, I might not feel like talking because I'm doing cardio. Where do we find your comedy stand-up schedule? If I have a good show, I put it on Instagram under. If you go on Instagram, uh, John Reed, not John Ritter. That's the gym I go to. But if you just look in if you go on my Instagram page, it says next gig. Like I think it says tomorrow night at the Comedy Store. Um, that's my home club in West Hollywood, California. And then, I do the road when it's a good paying gig. I mean, I just got an offer. It just goes to show you why I don't do the road. I got an offer from a pretty big club in San Diego, and they were like, "Do you want to headline our Friday night?" And that's usually a good show. And I'm like, "How much does it pay?" $75. Now that might sound like, "Oh my God, that's $75 to be on stage." Uh, for an hour, what? Um, and but it would cost me 100 in gas each way. So I can't do shit like that. Now 20 years ago, fuck yeah, I would have done it. But uh, it's $75 for it's a 3 hour drive, 3 hours back, 6 hours. I can't. That's why I don't do the road. Shit like that all the time because I have enough TV credits where the club will do well. Because really, I'll break the fourth wall for you. Um, clubs just want to put your picture and then the logos of the networks you've been on. And I've been on every network: Comedy Central, Netflix, Adult Swim, HBO, Showtime. But they don't want to pay you. Have you ever been on a red carpet in Vegas? I've been on a red carpet for like Benchwarmers and the Alec Baldwin roast. No, Andrew Dice Clay. Dice is dice. That's about the best way I can put it. Well, I'll try it. When I end this stream in 3 minutes, I got to get set up. I got to go pee pee. I'm not gonna lie, I do have to pee pee. I don't know Nick DiPaolo. Obviously, I know who he is, but I don't know him. Actually, I did. I did do red carpet for the Shane Doan roast. If you want to see Earl in his absolute prime, in terms of audience reaction, look up Earl Skakel Shane Doan roast. That's DOAN, and I did walk the red carpet for that. That was in Scottsdale, Arizona. Um, that's probably the best advertisement for is Earl Skakel funny or not. Now, I do have a 45-minute set of me at the Comedy Store that's only on my Patreon. That's not some scam to get you to join my Patreon, but the Comedy Store made me take it down because they said it looked too much like a fucking special. Like, what's the problem with that? This is how I felt when they told me to take it down. But you can see clips of that. It's not even a special on my YouTube Shorts. So, all right, we're at a minute 28. So you got 1.5 minutes before I cut the stream. But let me thank my super chat, super sticker, my fan funders. Once again, Rock on America, BYB Podcast, and Extraneous. I appreciate it. Not necessary. But like the great William Zoom said, Earl, it's not donations. And we're tipping you. You're our server for the night. Mama. HBK or Ric Flair. Also, Shane Doan's a beauty. Also, the Ric Flair roast. I don't get any money from this. But if you go on Fight TV, they treated me very well, Fight TV. So I don't mind throwing people their info. The Ric Flair roast is on Fight TV, I believe, still. And I think it's only like $5 a month. Um, So one day there will be another Earl special. I hope so. I mean, it wasn't really a special. It was just a 45-minute set of me doing really well at the store. Which manager at the Comedy Store do you hate the most? I don't hate him. I don't hate any of them, to be honest with you. Yes, stay safe. My friend was just in Chicago telling me how wild it was, and she got really sick. So everyone be careful out there. All right, we are at the hour and a half mark. Um, is the Comedy Store haunted? Yes, it is. And that's the last question I can answer before I hop on the elliptical, and then we'll try and stream a little bit. So this stream will be ending, and then maybe in about 10 minutes, check back on my YouTube page. Um, and well, I will try and stream on the machine, but it's my elliptical. It's a great elliptical, but it's noisy, so I don't know how appealing it would be for you guys to see me working out, going. So that is all. I love you guys. Well, that's the great thing is I can listen to music, look at the chat, and then maybe that's the gimmick. Exercise with Earl. So I'll be back on in about 10 minutes.